Most conversations about technology right now focus on the same questions. Is AI going to destroy us? Should we be afraid of what we're building? Are we playing God? But here's a different question, one that completely reframes everything. What if we were meant to build this?
There's this ancient text, Genesis, that describes humanity as made in God's image. What do you think that means? When I started studying what that phrase meant in its original context, I found something far more specific than I expected. Something that completely changes how we understand technology, artificial intelligence, and the future we're creating right now. Let me show you what I discovered. Here's where it starts to get interesting. If you open Genesis, the very first sentence says this: In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now. I used to read right past that. It felt like scene setting, like once upon a time, but then I realized something crucial. The very first verb in all of Scripture, the foundational action that defines everything that follows, is the verb created. Not loved, not judged, not ruled, but created. God's primary identity, the first thing we learn about him is that he is a creator. And then, just a few verses later, Genesis 1:27 says, So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Here's the question I couldn't escape. If God's core identity is creator and we are made in his image, what does that tell us about who we are? I started digging deeper and found that the phrase made in God's image in Hebrew carries the idea of a statue or representative, someone who embodies and reflects the nature of another. Ancient kings would place their image in distant territories to say, My authority operates here. When God says we're made in his image, he's saying, My creative nature operates through you. And then Genesis 1:28 goes further. God blessed them and said to them, Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground. That word subdue, it's active. It means to bring under control, to cultivate, to shape. That word rule, it's dominion, authority, creative power with purpose. This isn't passive observation, this is active creation. God didn't make us and say, just exist and appreciate what I made. He said, go make, go build, go create, exercise dominion over what I've given you. We were designed from the beginning to be creators, but here's the part that shifted everything for me. We can't create outside of God's creative essence. Everything we build, every idea, every invention, every line of code, it flows from the original creative power he placed in us. Even when we create something broken, even when we purposely or accidentally code sin and selfishness into our systems, even when technology amplifies our worst impulses, it's still flowing from that divine creative source. In a way, we're not independent creators. We're channels. Think about water flowing through a pipe. The pipe can be clean or corroded. The water can come out pure or contaminated. But the water itself? It originates from the source, not the pipe. We are the pipes. God is the source. Technology is what flows through us. The question isn't whether we should create. The question is, what condition is our channel in? Are we creating from belief in who we are or from doubt? Here's what fascinates me. Even people who don't hold any spiritual framework are starting to see this pattern. Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, said this: The arc of technology bends toward giving individuals more power, more capability, more agency. Whether he realizes it or not, he's describing the restoration of something ancient, the dominion we were designed to have, the creative authority Genesis talks about. Technology isn't taking us somewhere new. It's taking us back to what we were meant to be. The tools change, the scales shift, but the pattern holds. Humans are creators, and we're getting better at creating. Let me tell you about someone I worked with. I'll call her Maya. Maya was a machine learning engineer at a major tech company. Brilliant mind. She was helping build recommendation algorithms that would surface content to millions of people every day. But Maya grew up in a faith tradition. And the deeper she got into her work, the more conflicted she felt. She'd lie awake at night thinking, am I helping people discover what they need, or am I just manipulating their attention? Am I building something good, or am I playing God? The weight of that question started crushing her. She seriously considered leaving tech entirely. Then one day, during a particularly hard season, she came across Genesis 1:27 in a new light, made in God's image. She told me later, I realized I'd been asking the wrong question. The question wasn't, am I playing God? The question was, am I channeling God's creative nature or am I channeling my own fear and need for control? That reframe changed everything. She didn't quit tech. She embraced her source. She started asking different questions in design meetings. Does this feature serve human flourishing or does it serve our need to capture attention? Are we building from belief in human dignity or from doubt that people can make good choices? Same tools, same algorithms, different source. Maya is still in tech, but now she sees her work as participating in the renewal of creation, not threatening it. That's what happens when you realize you're not playing God by. You are indeed tasked with fulfilling the image of God. Now here's where it gets practical. Because the same technology can go two completely different directions. Think about social media for a second. When social media is built from doubt, doubt that people will engage unless we hook them, doubt that truth alone is compelling enough, doubt that connection needs to be forced, what do we get? We get infinite scroll design to trigger dopamine hits. We get algorithms optimized for outrage because anger keeps people engaged. We get features built to exploit human psychology, not serve it. That's technology built from fear of losing control. The creators doubted that their platform had inherent value, so they engineered addiction. They doubted that genuine connection was enough, so they optimized for conflict. Doubt often leads to grasping, and grasping often leads to forced control. But what if social media was built from belief? Belief that humans are designed for genuine connection. Belief that truth is compelling on its own. Belief that if you serve human flourishing, the platform will thrive because you're working with God's design, not against it. You'd get features that encourage deep conversation, not just reactions. You'd get algorithms that surface truth and beauty, not just what triggers emotion. You'd get platforms designed to enhance real-world relationships, not replace them. Same technology, different source. Here's the pattern. Doubt separates, belief unites. Technology built from doubt creates separation between humans and humans. Humans and nature, humans and God. Doubt says, control before you lose control. Dominate before you're dominated. Technology built from belief creates unity. It heals, connects, restores. It says, serve because you're already sufficient. Create because that's who you are. The Bible has a vision for this. Revelation 21 describes a renewed earth. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain. What if that renewed earth isn't God hitting reset and doing it all himself? What if it is built through us as the channels? What we, if, are the fulfillment of what we were meant to build? What if good means when we create entirely from belief instead of doubt? This is not about technology replacing nature, not about AI replacing humanity. It is about seeing technology as the tool we use to fulfill the dominion mandate, to cultivate, to heal, to restore what was broken. Building the renewed earth is not meant to be passive. It was meant to be an active partnership with the divine source of good. So here's where we are. You were made in the image of the Creator. That means you were designed, not just allowed, but designed to create. Every technology you feared, every innovation that made you anxious about the future, it flows from the same creative power God placed in humanity from the beginning. The tools aren't the threat. Doubt is the threat. Doubt tells you to stop building. Doubt tells you technology is evil. Doubt tells you we've gone too far. But belief says, keep creating. You're doing exactly what you were made to do. Just ensure you do it from the right source. So here's the question I'll leave you with. Are you creating from belief in your divine design or from doubt about your purpose? In the next video, we're going to explore belief itself, what it actually is, how it's measurable, and how it determines what flows through you as you create. But for now, I just want you to sit with this. Technology isn't the enemy. Doubt is. And you were meant to build. Drop one word in the comments. What will you build from belief today? If this shifted something for you, subscribe, not just for content, but because we're building something together. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.